Sanibona, ngaphambi singene kwivideo namuhla, ngithi angithathe lethuba ngibonge isupport nothando enikhombise lona lingaphezulu kokucabanga kwethu. Siyacela niqhubeke nisisupport njalo ngokubuka amavideo ethu, ungakhohlwa ukukhomenta, ushare, ulike. Siyafisa ukuzwa umbono wakho. Sicela ke singene kwivideo namuhla.
I can't second guess what's going on inside the head of a criminal like Mkhwanazi. But the reality of the situation is he's overstepped his mark. It's not the job of a provincial commissioner to start accusing the government, the judiciary, the National Prosecuting Authority, and the Minister of Police, for that matter, of being criminals. And that's what he did today. And I want to see that man fall, and the sooner the better.
UYusuf Abramji ku-X eyaziwa ngeTwitter ubhale kanje. Uthe when a suspect is called a comrade, we are in deep trouble. Uma nje umsolwa ebizwa ngecomrade sisenkingeni. Ivideo engiqale ngayo lo baba ngimazi ukuthi uyini lapha kwi-NPA. Lo bekhuluma ukuthi uMkhwanazi umbiza uMkhwanazi uthi uyisigebengu, umbiza uMkhwanazi ngecriminal ohambile o-accuser i-government nama senior members wamaphoyisa. Kanti ufisa ukubona lo muntu, you want to see this man fall, the sooner the better. Uyayibona le nkulumo ka-Abraham ethi uma nje umsolwa ebizwa ngecomrade sisenkingeni. Yingoba uyabona manje abantu ababuka ukuthi okay, mhlawumbe uMkhwanazi akwenzile akawulandelanga umthetho, kodwa ushilo uMkhwanazi wathi yena if fanele choose between the law and justice, he will choose justice. Ushilo yena usho ukuthi uMkhwanazi uma ngabe ephula umthetho ube aware ukuthi lento ayenzayo uyawuphula umthetho, kodwa into ebibalekile ijustice. Ngiyafisa ukuthi ngithi njengoba usubona manje ukuthi kunokuthi kubheka ukuthi lento esho uMkhwanazi iniqiniso na, futhi ingenzeka kanjani ukuze inqandwe lesihlava esimbi kangaka. Kufuneka amasu ukuthi uMkhwanazi angagedulwa kanjani. Amasu manje sekufuneka bawahlale phansi bawahlanganise bathathe wonke umthetho wasesiphoyiseni wokuthi uthini umthetho, singakwazi kanjani ukuthi uMkhwanazi sisimketule. Uthi uMkhwanazi izinto azilindele: ukuboshwa, ukulindela, ukuxoshwa emsebenzini, ukulindela, ukufa futhi ukulindela. Ingoba uyazi udila nobani. I'm surprised ukuzwa le ndoda ikhuluma kanje ithi ifuna ukubona ukuwa kaMkhwanazi, the sooner the better. I'm surprised ngoba ngelinye ilanga mzukwane kukhulunywa udaba lwephalaphala, i-NPA ithi ayina case yona, ayitholi case engamprosecutor ngayo president. Lo baba lo wakhuluma kanje
as the head of the president's security detail there. You didn't know that?
I had no idea. It wasn't my business, and I hadn't bothered looking at it.
So it became your business when he implicated you.
Excuse me?
When did it become your business?
Who do you think you're talking to?
I'm asking a question. We're having a conversation.
No, you're not asking a question. You're trying to implicate me. And if that's the way you're going to carry on, we shouldn't continue this discussion. Let me make one thing clear to you. I have no interest whatsoever in Pala or what goes on there. But when I see Arthur Fraser, who stole hundreds of millions of rand from this country, trying to avoid jail by dreaming up stories and putting them into the media, I then start looking at all the people involved in that. I run a charity called Forensics for Justice, and we take it upon ourselves to investigate people like Arthur Fraser. And he put himself firmly onto my radar screen. And it's no coincidence that back in 2012, when Ruda was involved in hanky-panky with other people in the NPA, it's no coincidence that I then discover he got off the hook then as well.
Mm-hmm. And as I said,
I'm not going to have people, whether they're criminals or journalists, trying to implicate me. So if you come with any more dodgy questions, I'm closing this call.
But what's a dodgy question, Mr. O'Sullivan? You said he was not my business up until that point. So I asked a follow-up question asking, when did he become your business? Wow, that's Mr. Paul O'Sullivan there. And as I said, Mr. O'Sullivan says that I asked him, when did he become interested in investigating Major General Wally Rhoode. And he explains that and says, well, he was not my business up until that point when he implicated me. And I asked, so, you know, basically, so he was not my business. So I asked, when did he become your business? And I don't know what's wrong with that. But that's what Mr. O'Sullivan has to say. He says he's not going to answer a dodgy question. I don't know what a dodgy question is. We don't know what's going on here for the most part. There's people being implicated.
Odabeni lwephalaphala wayengena interest. Wayengena interest. Kodwa waqala ukunyakaza. Futhi into akhathazeke ngayo Arthur Fraser. Nangu Arthur Fraser akaboshiwe kodwa uyebile imali. Kodwa indaba yephalaphala akayicabangi ngayo. Futhi usezwe ukuthi khona la kuthintwa khona yena. Angimangali-ke nje ubone esithombeni ukuthi bayazana noPresident Ramaphosa naba bobabili. Uma uzwa kumuntu nje ngoba phela manje into efuneka yenzeke ukuthi ku-investigatwe-ke manje ukuthi okay noma landwe kuMkhwanazi sepha ubufakazi bezinto ezishoyo manje mangabe niplana nina ukuthi uMkhwanazi the downfall of uMkhwanazi kusho ukuthini lokho kimi nje njengomuntu oyilunga lomphakathi kusho ukuthini uma ezovele sethi akwenze ngokusheshsha usufuna ukubona the downfall of uMkhwanazi kusho ukuthini ngoba phela manje uMkhwanazi usekwenzile into efuneka yenzeke manje akutholakala ubufakazi uyabona into engiyiqaphelile ukhona ocommente kanjalo kwivideo yandulela le wathi uMkhwanazi ubonile ukuthi akusizi ukuthatha i-issue uphinde uyobikela esinye isigebengu ngoba phela kuyakubonakala manje ukuthi lento ithinta inhloko amakhanda manje uzokwazi kanjani ukuthatha udaba olubucayi kangaka uyobikela bona labantu abaconnected nalabantu so icase yakhe ayizukuya phambili ngcono ibhadlazele kwimedia ukuze sizoyibona ibe sobala sonke sibone ukuze futhi njengoba kuthiwa upresident uzophawula ngalolu daba sizombona uthatha ziphi inyathelo uthatha kodwa nje njobe eshilo Abraham nje lapho ukuthi uma umsolwa kuyicomrade sisenkingeni enkulu asikho nje enkingeni sisenkingeni enkulu ngoba into efuna abayenze manje efuna bavikele ucomrade iyona into ehamba phambili kubo bazomvela kanjani ucomrade asazi sizozwa ngopresident into engifisa ukuyenza kule video ngifisa ke ukuveza ukuthi yini le ayishilo ngomchunu ngoba umchunu nawo uphendulile awuthi ke ngicaphuneele ivideo yenziwa umchunu uqala.
Well, we have become aware of what General Mkhwanazi said we have been saying. I didn't have time to look at TV, but there are those statements that he has made. We will, in good time, apply our minds to those kind of statements.
Usho ukuthi isikhathi lesade sisho ke sa-apply ingqondo yakhe usifikile ngoba nakho uphendulile. Ile statement esosibhala izolo kwi-X account yakhe. Njobe ebhalela ukuthi isihloko sithi Minister of Police rejects baseless allegations by KZN Provincial Commissioner. Sifundeka kanje. Uminister wamaphoyisa oku-Mr. Senzo Mchunu ngokwezinga lakhe as a member ye-National Executive Committee African National Congress ubekwi-camp kule weekend eVryheid eKZN njengoba kunama by-elections ezayo ngomhla ka-16 kuJuly 2025. Uminister ube-engage nabantu abaningi okubalwa kuwo induna, ama-organizations omphakathi, abalimi bediscussa izinto efuneka kwenza ukuze kuliwe nobugebengu okuba affectayo bona ikakhulukazi ukwebiwa kwemfuyo. Ngesikhathi esebhizi kanjalo nalezo ngxoxo uminister bamenza abantu aba-aware ukuthi namhlanje izolo phela kodwa mina ngiyizwa namhlanje bekune media briefing ebibizwe Provincial Commissioner waKwaZulu Natal Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi ebeka insolo ezimbalwa ngama-issues ahlukene ngaye. Aqhubeka ukuthi uminister wamaphoyisa ngeke baze bayivumele lento ukuthi iministry noma amaphoyisa ngobukhulu bawo ba-underminewe ngalezi insolo lezi ezivele zabeka ngaphandle kobufakazi noma kulandele iprocess from noma kuthiwa ilonto yenziwa ubani okubalwa khona uLieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Ngakho-ke bazoyibheka bazosibheka istatement sika-Provincial Commissioner and bacabangisisa ukuthi yiziphi iy'nyathelo funeka bazithathe. Uma kathiwa ngisaqhubekanga nokufunda istatement sakhe ngoba kuyafana, sizosho yona lento ayishoyo nokuthi-ke lezi nsolo zi-baseless akunabufakazi. Yilokhu-ke naye asheshe waphendula ngakho izolo. Usuku lwayizolo-ke usuku oluphithizelayo kakhulu ngoba i-EFF iphawulile, Rise Mzansi iphawulile, i-MK Party ibhala istatement ukuthinta nje lolu daba nalezi nsolo ezibhekiwe. Kodwa kwamanje ngifisa ukubuyela-ke manje kumchunu ngqo nje kumchunu ukuthi yonke lento isukaphi. Ngizocaphuna uMkhwanazi asilandise ukuthi umchunu ungena kanjani kuzo zonke lezi zinto. Ngicabanga ukuthi masiyibambe lapho sizobe sesiyazi kwenzakalani. Sobe sesiyazi kwenzakalani. Ngishilo kodwa izolo uma ngiqala ukwenza ivideo yokuqala ngathi udaba lika Mkhwanazi yena ivideo yakhe i-1 hour kodwa uma siyibreaka down angeke ngikwazi ukwenza ivideo yodwa ezobe ichaza. Yabona namanje ngisenza amavideo amabili yesithathu lana ngisazama ukuchaza ngomchunu angakafiki ku-Lieutenant General Sibiya kusekuningi kakhulu asikakabheki ukuthi itheni i-EFF i-MK ngoba abanye njenge-EFF ne-MK ithi akavikele uMkhwanazi akavikelwe njengoba ubezwa laba bethi iziphi iy'nyathelo engafuneka abazithathe ngoba uyabona manje kuhlone kabili khona abathi no kufuneka uMkhwanazi sizame indlela yokuthi sisimketule, kukhona abathi no uMkhwanazi akavikelwe. Asicaphune yena asilandise ngoba ngithanda ukuthi ngendlalele le nkulumo athi mayisilandisa sisiqonde kahle sonke ukuthi le ndaba isuka la yaphuma yeza la kwase kuba ngukuthi ukuze kusicacele sonke. Cela uzwe la.
And I can confirm before the South Africans today that the investigation which these members were involved with in Gauteng has unmasked the syndicate. And this syndicate involves, amongst others, politicians who are currently serving in Parliament. The law enforcement officers include the members of the South African Police Service, the Metro Police, and correctional services. They include prosecutors in Gauteng province, the judiciary, and all these are controlled by the drug cartel as well as business people in that province of Gauteng. This act, of course, undermines the criminal justice system in this country. Mr. Brown Mokhotsi sends a WhatsApp message to myself, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, regarding the allegation on the defeating the ends of justice matters which were widely publicized, which involves an incident that happened at the correctional service at Mpangeni in KwaZulu-Natal. Mr. Brown sends this message in September last year, long before the news came out in public about the incident that happened at Mpangeni. He sends this message. In this message that he sends to the Provincial Commissioner, he attaches a police letter and he attaches a copy of the occurrence book, a register that is used at the police station that's supposed to only be accessed by police officers. But Mr. Brown, who's not a police officer, attaches those in his message and he sends it to the Provincial Commission. His word says there is a plot to charge you. Mr. Brown Mokhotsi also sends a screenshot of a presentation that was made on the 30th of September 2024, a presentation that was titled 2024-2025 Division Crime Intelligence Policies. He sends this to myself, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, as a Provincial Commissioner in KwaZulu-Natal. Surely this must have been a classified information where crime intelligence are presenting their policies. But this man has access to that, and he's not a policeman. When asked to share the copy of this presentation through that WhatsApp communication, he responded by saying General Khan will brief you next week. There's only one General Khan in the South African Police Service, so is one Lieutenant General Sibiya in the South African Police Service. I've never heard of any other Lieutenant Generals in any other way in the security cluster in the country with the very same names. So I assume these are the colleagues that I know very well. He further wrote on the very same WhatsApp message. He said that, I quote, "The minister is briefed. He has just arrived in Lusikisiki," end quote. You will recall, colleagues, that we had an incident in Lusikisiki, a mass murder that happened there. And the Minister of Police had gone visiting the families and that crime scene. So after this communication, the Provincial Commissioner called the Chief of Staff, Mr. Nkabinde, the Chief of Staff of the Minister of Police, and asked the Chief of Staff, who is this Brian Mkhwanazi? This Brian Mkhwanazi seems to be traveling with the Minister to Lusikisiki. Who is he? Because I've never heard of him. The response from the Chief of Staff was that Mr. Brian Mkhwanazi is an associate of the Minister, but is not employed in a department. That's when I got a confirmation about Mr. Brian Mkhwanazi. And I asked the Chief of Staff to send the phone number of this Brian Mkhwanazi, of which he did. It is that number that made me to confirm that indeed the person who's sending me WhatsApp messages is the same person that is called Brian Mkhwanazi and is from Northwest. On the 5th of March 2025, the South African Police appeared before the Portfolio Committee in Parliament. A presentation was made to this Portfolio Committee by the Provincial Commission of KwaZulu-Natal, which included the allegations of an associate of the Minister of Police, Mr. Brian Mkhwanazi. The Minister denied on record. Go and Google a visual presentation to the Portfolio Committee on the 5th of March this year, towards the end of that briefing, where the Minister of Police responded and he said he does not know this Mr. Brian Mkhwanazi.
I think I picked up something that Provincial Commissioner Kunazi is saying about some fellow. 2 weeks ago, it does happen in a week or 2 or 3. I think a week and a half ago, I got somebody insisting that there's somebody who's going around saying he works with me wherever I am, he is there. And I said, show me the face. And it got to a point where he showed me the face and I told him, I don't know this person. And a week before, there was another person, Mchunu, who said is my younger brother. My younger brother died in 2005, and I don't have any other. And so when the person says so, you really, so I think we must be very circumspect when people come to us and say, I must be an associate of this and that. I'm no associate to the person that General Mkhwanazi is referring to. But I appreciate whatever they discussed and then those things coming out so that I understand who is saying what, where, and so on. I do know that possibly all of us, including you, Chair, you would have at one point or the other somebody claiming that they are your associate. It does happen. But other than that, thank you very much.
He said that in Parliament. However, the Minister confirmed that he knows this Mr. Brian Mkhwanazi during the telephone conversation that he had, which was posted on X under the a handler at Load Care. This was on the 30th of March, where he confirmed that this was his comrade from Northwest. The conversation between the minister and that lady is available. You can go on X and find it on the 30th. If it has been removed from that account, as we finish this briefing, I'll share that with you. The evidence has been found in the cell phone of Mr. Vusimus, also known as Cat Nhlanhla, which shows the communication between Mr. Brown Mokgotsi and the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu. As I said, this was the beginning of the closure of the political task team. I've tried to outline some sequence of events. I had said the team left for Gauteng to go and assist organized crime in Gauteng. There was a shooting incident that had occurred in April 2024, where Mr. Swart, a QTech employee, was fatally shot while entering the company premises. QTech has been a long-standing service provider to Transnet. Shortly after the incident, 3 suspects, including a warrant officer, a South African Police Service warrant officer, a detective Tau Pule, were arrested in Johannesburg. During the arrest, weapons that were used in this matter, which was an AK-47 and a pistol, along with cell phones, were confiscated. I must applaud the team in Gauteng who had effected this arrest before the arrival of the team in KZN. It is the challenges that this investigating team of Gauteng encountered that led into the invitation to the KwaZulu-Natal police to go and assist. The KwaZulu-Natal political killings task team arrival, they took these weapons and they went and tested them. So they conducted a ballistic test in order to check whether these firearms were linked with that murder and many other murders perhaps that will have occurred in the country. Maybe let me pause on that one and come back into what had happened prior to us receiving the results from the task team, ballistic test result. On the 6th of December 2024, the task team visited the premises of the 2 of the high-profile syndicate, of which one, Mr. Katiso Molefe, was arrested for the murder of Mr. Swart of QTech. During that arrest, unusual activities were observed whilst the team were busy with the operation. These activities included a dispatching of members of the South African Police Service under the command of a senior manager at the head office to go and interrupt the operation that was unfolding. Fortunately, when they arrived there, the members realized that it is indeed a police operation, so they allowed the members to carry out their operation without disturbance. On the 30th December 2024, the ballistic expert issued a ballistic report which linked these firearms not only with the murder of Mr. Swart, but these firearms were linked with a number of high-profile cases. And these cases include very high-profile South African artists that were murdered in Gauteng, which occurred dating back as far as 2021. I'm not going to mention them, but we have them on record. On the 31st of December 2024, the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, issues a letter to disband the political killings task team and to suspend the filling of vacancies within crime intelligence. In January, February, and April this year, the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Sibia, issued written instructions withdrawing all these cases from the task team to his office. On the 14th of May this year, 2025, the task team arrested Vusi Muzi, who is also known as Cat Nhlanhla, for an attempted murder ×3. I must highlight that This Mr. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala is an individual who was awarded a police contract of over 360 million rand in 2024. An analysis was conducted on electronic communication of this arrested person. This analysis reveals communication between the arrested Vusimuzi at Cat Matlala, Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi, an associate of the Minister of Police, as well as the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. On the 1st of January, the letter is issued on the 31st. On the 1st of January, 2025, Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi sends a WhatsApp to Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, and it reads as follows, I quote, "I have arranged a meeting for Sibiya and the minister. They must have a solution." And it follows another message. "The task team that came to your house and harassed you have been dissolved. They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all docket to Sibiya." This letter is issued on the 31st of December 2024. This communication is on the very next day, the 1st of January 2025, where it says the dockets have been called and have been sent to Sibiya. Yes, we know the dockets only were sent to Sibiya in March this year. Further analysis of the chats indicates that Vusimuzi Cat Matlala is financially supporting the Minister of Police and Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi's political endeavors. This is supported by the evidence of conversation and the proof of payments of guests for January 8 traveling cost and the Ghana dinner in Cape Town, which was done in 2025. The proof of payment, we have it, as I said, we're going to share with you, where Mr. Matlala is sending this proof of payment to Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi. On the 2nd of January 2025, at about 10:05 in the morning, Vusimuzi Cat Matlala receives a copy of the letter of the disbandment of the political killings task team from Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi, who is an associate with the Minister of Police. I pause to remind you that this is the very same Brown Mkhwanazi that the Minister of Police had denied in Parliament and later confirmed to be his comrade but not involved with police matters. But he's sending this communication. That's what we have discovered through the investigation. On the 14th of January 2025, Mr. Brown communicates with Mr. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala as follows, I quote, "Sure, don't forget to work on your invoices." On the 15th January, Mr. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala responds with a screenshot of an invoice that he has submitted to the South African Police Service, which I guess was due for payment on his contract. On the 26th of January 2025, Mr. Brown Mkhwanazi sent a message to the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, which reads as follows, I quote, "The guy of the funding in bracket 20 is also in Joburg from Tuesday. He is the one I said has a 3 billion contract with SAPS." Close quote. Open quote, again another message. "I am also meeting with the DNC and the COS today." Now, in the abbreviation, the DNC in the South African Police Service is referred to as the Deputy National Commissioner, and the COS would be, in this regard, the Chief of Staff. He says, "I'm also meeting with the DNC and Chief of Staff today in Durban for finalization of Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi's matter."
Ayasibambe la ngishilo ngathi lolu daba lolu masizolithatha funa silithathe kancane kancane ngoba lude. Kodwa manje sesiyathola hlangana ungena kanjani uminister nayi via communication bembikela lo uminister uthatha isinqumo sokudissolve le task team. Sekuvela manje ubufakazi bokuthi useyavela uBrian ubikela uVusi Cat uthi hey labantu abafikile bakaharasa hayi indaba yabo seyiphelile task team seyivaliwe. Is it a coincidence? Kolukhulu. Uthe u-Abraham G, uma umsolwa kuyi-comrade sisenkingeni enkulu. Sho njalo. Wathi uma umsolwa kuyi-comrade sisenkingeni enkulu. Bengithi nje angikulethele ingxenye le ezokuvezela ukuthi uSenzo Mchunu owuminister wamaphoyisa ungene kanjani koyonke lento. Yini emlinkayo yena? Ngoba masikha phezulu manje Mkhwanazi la uzikile nendaba wakwazi ukusilandela yona naye nazi into ezazikhulunywa futhi engikwenzile kule video uma kakhuluma nge-portfolio committee ngiyicaphunile ngakufakela yona ukuze ukwazi ukulandela kahle. Yingakho ngithe lolu daba lude kakhulu. Lolu daba lude kakhulu. And futhi ngiyizibe ngamabomu indaba lo baba lo uVusumuzi Cat Matlala if I'm not mistaken. Ngiyizibe ngamabomu ngoba ezathi senza ukuthi ngiyizibe ukuthi ngithe uma ngiyibheka ngayibona ukuthi izoba yinde kakhulu. Ngoba naye ufuna sikhulume ngaye kune-journalist ebilandelela udaba lwakhe. Kudala-ke bemlandela, it's about 2 years. And umuntu osebenza ngama-contract. Kodwa-ke okuvela lapho ukuthi u-politically connected. Politically connected. Is untouchable. So uma ngizokhuluma ngaye funa ngibuyele Ian Cameron lo chairperson we-portfolio committee yamaphoyisa in parliament. Yingakho ngithi nje okwamanje asiyibambe la sizokhuluma ngaye kwenye video. Ngicela ukuza ukuphawula kwakho. La ku comment section below. Mina nawe sidibane kwivideo elandelayo. Ngiyabonga.